Hey guys, welcome back to TPL TV. My name is Princess, and you are now in the Princess Lifestyle. So today I have a look for you guys. I was initially doing a review for this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation, but the way that I used it in this video, I feel like I'm not giving it a proper shot. So I'm going to do a separate thorough review of this foundation, but I did use this foundation in this video and to create this look. But the real stars of the show are these new Huda Beauty Melted Shadows. These shadows just came out like 2 days ago, I believe. Huda Beauty is they're the only company that I know of that makes melted shadows, but these are really, really good. At first, it was a little bit of a learning curve for me, but once I got the gist of what these products are about, I really can't put them down, especially if you're trying to do a cut crease and you're not really good at cut creases, but you still want to do them. These melted shadows are perfect for that because it has a wand attached to the product, so you really just draw it on and the cut crease comes out perfectly pretty much every time. So if you want to see how I created this look using these lovely melted shadows from Huda Beauty, keep on watching. Okay, so we are going to go straight into the look. Take a second to acknowledge my skin. It's getting better and better, and I'm still keeping that glow going. Okay, so sit down. I'm sorry, you guys. I just feel really good about where I'm going in life, okay? So we're gonna start with a primer. I am using my Too Faced Major Hangover Primer. At this point, I'm just using this primer because I paid for it and can't return it. I don't like how this primer smells, and the only benefit of this primer, in my opinion, is just that it hydrates, I guess. But other than that, this primer literally does nothing. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it at all. So let's move on. I am using my Milk Makeup Foundation, and if you guys know, then you know I will be using this to conceal and correct, all right? So I have scarring on my cheek area. I have some scarring on my chin. I have hyperpigmentation around my mouth, and then I have a few scars on my forehead. So earlier in the video, I told you guys that this was initially supposed to be a review for the Charlotte Tilbury foundation, but I decided against it because if I were to do a review for a foundation, I can't have any other foundation being used in conjunction with the foundation, because I feel like my opinion will be skewed because it will be based off of two foundations as opposed to one. So as I'm concealing and correcting, that's when I figured, ooh, I can't make this a review. So because also this color foundation is darker than, yeah, it's basically not my shade. It's a shade on some of my face, but not the rest. But that's why I couldn't make this a review for the Charlotte Tilbury foundation, because as you can see, I concealed and corrected using those BoxyCharm brushes that I was telling Instagram about. But this Charlotte Tilbury foundation, it's a different shade. So let's go ahead and get into that. I have been purchasing a lot of my cosmetic products for skincare and makeup from Net-a-Porter, and I was on their website, and that's how I determined what my shade was. It was a guessing game for me. It was a guessing game, honey. And this shade, well, yeah. My expression says it all. My expression says it all. I don't want to jump the gun with my opinion on this foundation or this foundation shade until I until I try this foundation without any other color skewing what I'm giving. But I was a little taken aback. I was a little frightened. I was a little shook up because I was like, oh, well, that's a little light. You know, it's a little bright, it's a little orange. So I don't know. We're gonna see if this foundation is my shade. I think it was like 15Y, whatever it is. I'll leave it on the screen for you guys to know. But this, it scared me a little bit. I know that the perimeters of my face, I have like a natural contour because I have, because I'm hyperpigmented. I have a natural contour and a natural highlight. So the center of my face, this shade fits, but I'm not so sure about the perimeters. I'm not sure, and I'm also not sure about the undertone. The undertone was giving me very much so Fanta orange vibes, very much so high C orange, some Minute Maid situations. So I don't know. We're just gonna have to see. So let's move it on to my Huda Beauty Overachiever Concealer. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, I done already told you this, but this is one of the best concealers I've ever used in my life. I don't know why I always forget about this concealer when I'm doing my makeup. I don't know why I always reach for other concealers, but it's probably because I'm always trying new products. But this concealer, time and time again, for over a year of using it, it has never done me wrong. Even when I've used the wrong shade of concealer, I don't remember what shade this is, but I remember I used the shade Peanut Butter, which was mad light. But still, the way this concealer is able to blend out, I was able to finagle. Y'all know, I was able to finagle the situation and still come out looking sensational per usual. This concealer is definitely a must buy. It gives such a beautiful finish to the under eye. It's like an airbrushed, face-tuned type of finish to the under eye. I would like this concealer, whatever the ingredients and texture and all of that is a component of this concealer, in foundation form. So Huda Beauty, Huda Katan, Mona Katan, Alia Katan, if you guys are listening, please give the girl what she wants. Give me this concealer in the form of foundation, okay? Because I love the glow and the sheen and the shine of this concealer, and then I just love how it sets. This concealer sets so well that I barely, put any setting powder on. I just like the way this concealer looks, and it doesn't get oily on top of that. So I guess it's a mattifying concealer, but while it's mattifying, it's not dry. Like, it doesn't suck all of the hydration from our under eyes. Your under eyes still look super hydrated. And that is something that I love. You guys know I'm not with the mattification of my entire look. I don't like that matte look. I like for my skin to look alive and healthy and dewy. But because I have oily skin, I always have to be very careful with that. So this concealer gives me a good balance. So I'm also using the concealer to contour. Really, really good. I have zero complaints about using it to contour. You just have to be careful because these concealers set quickly. So I suggest using a brush that you can work faster with, because this BoxyCharm brush is good for foundation, but I wouldn't say it's good for a contouring situation because it's so stiff that it doesn't blend quickly, which is not good when you're contouring, because you don't want any harsh lines. Well, I mean, some of y'all might want that. No, not y'all, because I know y'all. Y'all are my people. Some other people might want that, but we don't want harsh lines. That's not what we're about, right? We're about seamless looks, flawless looks, seamless situations, and we're about looking good and looking great. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just blending for my life, blending for my future children's lives. I'm blending for my grandchildren's lives. I'm blending for past generations, whether they deserve to have this blend or not. And I am blending to make sure that every wig out there has been snatched. That is what life is about. That is my calling. Straight from Jesus. Anywho, Let's go ahead and set. I'm using my Huda Beauty. I said Huda Beauty. Huda Booty. I'm using my Huda Beauty setting powder. This is the shade Kunafa, and I really, really like Kunafa because it's yellow, but it's not that yellow that sticks and makes you yellow. You guys know what I'm talking about. There are some setting powders out there that are yellow, and they are yellow down. Like, if y'all can see my face, you know what I mean. They are yellow down. They are sunny delight, okay? And that's not what we are interested in. We are interested in just a brightening type yellow, and that is what Kunafa is, because Kunafa is, I don't know if it's showing up properly. It's not really showing up the way I see it in person on camera. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's more of a mustard than a yellow. You know what I'm saying? It's not a high yellow, it's a mustard. And that is a type of yellow that Princess is interested in. I don't need a Sunny Delight. I don't need, I don't know, something else yellow. I don't need that. I need a honey mustard. I need a Dijon, okay? That's what I'm interested in, and that is what this setting powder gives me. So I love using Kunafa to set my highlight. It blends well, and it also brightens at the same time. And these overachiever, no, these aren't overachiever. They're easy bake. These easy bake setting powders are really good. Okay, they're like really good, because I remember Huda Beauty saying that she models her foundations and powders and all of that based on the heat in Dubai where she lives. So if you tend to get oily like I do and she does, these setting powders are perfect for you. So right now I'm using this shade, I believe it was Cinnamon Bun. If it's not Cinnamon Bun, then it's Coffee Cake. But I'm using that shade to set underneath my contour. And make sure you blend with these, because these can make you look very, what's the word, like chalky? It can make you look rough. So make sure you blend after you place the products down. So you're gonna look a little mannequin-like I do right now. You're gonna look a little mannequin-like, but once you go in with your all-over face powder to blend everything in and buff everything away, you are gonna look sensational, the same way I look at the end of this video. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into the eye look. I'm watching Judge Judy, so that's my reaction. There was this man named Kenny. Okay, let me tell you guys. So there was this man named Kenny, and Kenny stole his friend's four-wheeler and tried to blame it on another guy. And the most important part of this story is the fact that Kenny was wearing a wig. Okay? Kenny was wearing a synthetic wig, and Kenny didn't think that I was going to find out. But joke's on him, boo-boo, 'cause I did. Kenny was wearing a synthetic wig. If you follow me on Instagram, then you saw it, we saw it, we all saw it together. And Kenny was dead wrong and out of line for coming on national television with that synthetic blonde wig. Shame on him, and I will never forgive Kenny for that. So anyway, we're just putting a base down so that we can get into the eye look, okay? Because that's what we came here for. We came here for this easy cut crease, okay? I'm using my Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. This is my first time using it, and the palette didn't look like it was going to be good for me, to be honest. I'm just being all the way honest. It did not look like the type of palette that Princess would go for. It was looking a little cool toned, and you know me, I'm a warm-blooded girl, okay? I don't do the cools. Well, I don't voluntarily do the cools. I mean, I've done cool tones and I've made them look great, but like, I'm not going out searching for cool tones, you feel me? So I was a little like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna look good on me. I don't know if I want to do this, but it did, okay? So I'm using that little purple shade that's in the palette, and I am just placing it down, packing it on, deepening the crease, and then blowing it out. You feel me? I'm just setting the playbook for what we are going to do with this eye. I'm wearing white. I know that makes a lot of people uncomfortable when I wear white and do my makeup, but your girl is careful. Princess doesn't play games with her whites, okay? So I was good. Don't worry about me. we are doing a purple cut creased situation. And of course, I didn't plan this. I just allow my hands to do what they want. And this is what we ended up doing, okay? So, anywho, with eyeshadow, you know, you have to blend, and you have to blend until you start to feel pain in your shoulder. And then once you feel that pain in your shoulder, that means that you're about 75% done blending. If you're not feeling any, you know, shoulder exhaustion, if your muscles aren't tightening, then you haven't finished blending. That means you're looking chunky in your crease. Get to it. So we're gonna be taking our melted shadows. Huda Beauty just came out with these 5 new melted shadows. I don't remember what the shade of this is, but I'm gonna leave it on the screen. And you see how easy that cut crease just happens? Like, do you see the ease of this cut crease? It's so simple, it's easy, non-problematic. There's no math attached to this. There's no science. You don't have to enroll in an anatomy and physiology class in order to achieve this cut crease. You don't have to stamp something down. You don't have to use geometry. You don't have to do any of that. You feel me? That's why I like these melted shadows, because it makes everything so easy. Like, I look like I'm out here being a cut crease legend, when in reality, I still have training wheels on. I still have my cut crease training wheels on, you know? Well, actually, I mean, I don't, but y'all know what I'm saying. This makes everything easier. I prefer to use these melted shadows for every cut crease look that I do, because it's easy. It's easy. It comes in a multitude of shades. And even if it doesn't come in the exact shade that you want, this shade is a lilac, quote unquote, lilac type of shade. But while it's lilac, it's light enough to just be used as a white base for you to put any shade on top of, you know? So get these melted shadows. You don't have to buy them all if you don't want, but I feel like there's such a good design, for me anyway, because I love cut creases, but I don't love the effort it takes to create them. So yeah. Anywho, let's finish the eye. We are taking that super dark gray toned shade. That shade is I guess it would be considered a purple. It's like a berry, but it's a gray toned berry shade. And at first I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with this shade. But then I said, let me keep going, because we've already put it on. And it's now or never. Okay. So just blend. Every time you think you're doing something wrong with your eyeshadow, I promise you, if you keep blending, it'll work out. It will work out. All you have to do is keep on blending. Just keep blending. Blend and blend and blend, and I promise you it'll work out, okay? So let's move on to the eyeliner. I want to use some black eyeliner in my waterline to really deepen this purple. If you have brown eyes like me, purples and blues are perfect for our eyes. It really brings out all of the undertones and flecks of gold and red and all of that stuff in our naturally brown eyes. So I'm just getting that same dark shade that I put on the outer crease, and I'm sweeping that on the whatchamacallit? What's this called? Lower lash line. I'm sweeping that on the lower lash line to make this a proper smoky eye. Okay, I'm getting my Fenty Beauty mascara, their full frontal mascara, and I'm just prepping my real lashes for false lashes, because false lashes were absolutely needed in this look. I believe these false lashes are from Icon. They're Bad and Bougie eyelashes. Don't quote me on that. I literally have a box full of eyelashes that I don't know what belongs with what, but these are reminiscent of the Bad and Bougie. That fan out, flared out look, it's gotta be the Bad and Bougie. So yeah, now we're just getting at our lower lash line, you know? getting that together, making sure we got our lower lashes popping and on pop, you feel me? And we're just trying to complete the look. We're just trying to smoke everything out, okay? And we're looking great in the process. So let's go ahead and hook up the brows. To all of you on Instagram who love to say, why don't you fill in your brows? I do fill in my brows. I promise you I do. I just don't do it immediately. I do my brows last because I don't like for my brows to be super bold, super dark, super sharp. I don't like that, okay? I like a runway type of brow. I don't like an Instagram brow. It's not my thing. I like the faded look of brows. I know a lot of you who watch my videos don't. Not a lot. Those of you who actually comment that, you don't. And you are more than welcome to not like that. But let me tell you something. As long as these brows are on my face and not yours, I'm going to do with them what I want. Okay? Come to grips. Accept it. I said accept it. Accept it for what it is. Because what it is not yours. What it is mine. What it is princesses. It belongs to me. It's on my face. All right? So I'm going to give you what I feel like giving you. Okay? Take it in. Take it in. Anywho, I'm going in with Mocha Mommy, Fenty Beauty, you know. This was about to be a whole Huda Beauty look, but my two favorite makeup companies that are not necessarily your typical high-end company are Fenty Beauty and Huda Beauty. Like, I can't choose between the two. I love them both. So I did get a BoxyCharm in the mail this month. Shout out to me. Actually, this is from January, but shout out to me. Too Faced, controversial Too Faced has a diamond light highlighter. This packaging is so cute. It made me really feel like I was getting married or whatever, even though that hasn't happened yet. But this highlighter is actually quite gorgeous, okay? It can come off as ashy, so you have to be careful. So after you put this highlighter on, make sure you go back in with your bronzer and you just layer the two. You just sandwich them, you know? Sandwich okay? So I put it on with my fingers. I've been doing a lot of work with my fingers lately. That's the way to go. That's the way to do it. So yeah, just rub that in and rub it down. I see a lot of you going to work with your fingers and seeing how lovely that can be when you use your fingers, okay? Don't be afraid to get them dirty. So we're just going back in with that same Huda Beauty Melted Shadow, and I am glitterizing the inner corner. Just making it real pretty. Now we can finally move on to the lip. We're almost done. This is my Fenty Beauty Matchstick in Espresso that I use all the time for lip liner, and I've been using for years for lip liner. Because, you know, listen, it's hard to find a lip liner that really speaks to your soul. So this is one of them. All right. And I see a lot of you going to Sephora and buying up that liner that I've been talking about for years. I see you guys buying it in 3s, buying it in 4s, buying all of them when you go to Sephora, every last one. I'd just like to say you're welcome for putting you on, because that lip liner, that gel liner from Sephora is probably the best lip liner I've ever used. The only problem is that it finishes quickly. So that's annoying. I don't know if it's just me, but it finishes quickly. I feel like I can use up one whole liner from Sephora in a month. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anywho, going in with my Luxtray spray. I have been feeling very expensive lately. I mean, my whole life, you know, because that's me. I'm the girl. I'm that expensive girl. But I have been feeling very expensive, and I've been wanting to treat myself at every point of the day. So I have been Luxtraying myself up and Luxtraying myself down, okay? And mind you, that Luxtray spray that I was just using is good for skincare also. So I definitely don't just use it for makeup. I'm gonna need to go ahead and purchase a new bottle soon. I think I'm about halfway done now, so I might as well go ahead and pick up another one. Am I right or am I right? I know I'm right. Thank you. Let's just put on our beauty supply $6.99 way too expensive hoops. I'll never forget the beauty supply store for playing me like this, but I needed those hoops last minute, so I went ahead and bought them. All right, let's comb this 40 inches, huh? 40 inches, huh? 40 inches, huh? Let's go ahead and get that brushed up and brushed down. This is how we're looking. One shoulder tease, cheekbone situation, lips on pop pop, eyes on cut crease, lashes on fly and flutter away, glow on hushacha, okay, stare on give me your coins, blinks on snatch that wig. We're looking like you step. Okay, so here is the completed look. I used my Huda Beauty melted shadows. There are 5 of these in total. The one that I used was this one, Diamond Drip and French Lace. It's like a purple lilac type of color, and I combined it with my Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. This is my first time using this palette, and I am really late to the party, but this palette is really, really good. It honestly seems like maybe this palette wouldn't work for my collection, but the shadows that I used worked perfectly. I really loved the blendability of everything. You guys know that Huda Beauty does not come to play when it comes to shadows, but I really like this palette. I can't wait to get into these shimmers. I think we need to do something with these blues and these purples together. Really excited to keep using this palette. So if you guys want to see some looks from this palette, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up either way, okay? Thank you. Ouch, ouch. And yeah, that's the full look. I really love these melted shadows from Huda Beauty. Hopefully now that I gave you guys a thorough demo of how I use them, you can use them too. If you were thinking about trying them, now is the time, because she just came out with all of these shades, and I feel like the shade range of the shadows now is really thorough. Now there's enough of a selection to determine which ones you guys want. So this is the final look. This is it. If you have not already subscribed, please do, so that you can see more of my videos. And if you have any video suggestions, any topics that you want me to discuss, any products you want me to review, please leave them in the comments. All right, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye. Goodbye. All right.